Yes. So can you imagine? I went to Damascus University to teach.
More than 100.
I had 400 people in the auditorium when I went there. I stood there, 400 people. Okay. I'm used to New Horizons classes, like 20 students tops. Tops. Sometimes I have like 8, and I'm already happy with that. Can you imagine 400 people? Like, what was the problem there? Was there proper training for me for that? No, and we're going to talk about training. It's all about training. I swear to God, and I'm not going to be just like, idealistic and just saying things, but I made pair work, group work, in the 400 students in there, and I was jumping like a monkey in the auditorium from one stair to another stair, okay, jumping sometimes over the tables, okay, so people can see something different. Did they see something different? I guess they did. And they always told me, Mr. You are young, and that was like 10 years ago. So, yeah, Mr. You're young, our teachers are usually so old, and they don't move behind the table, they sit down, they put the mic, and they... So, what happened there? Teaching large classes. Can I do it? I will give you a piece of advice that an old man told me about, and I was really happy with it. It was, make them busy.
It's better than being busy.
This is our strategy.
Or they will enjoy you, and they will make you an example for everybody else. Right or not?
Right.
Flexibility. Do I have to be flexible? To the max. And if I'm not flexible, I would never be a teacher. Like, you have to care about the age you're teaching. You have to care about the people you're teaching, their backgrounds. It's not enough just to go and, do whatever. No, it's not. Unfortunately, and that's why we fight with our schools, we fight with our institutes, because we are not aware of the procedures to follow. The first thing that I should do as a teacher is to see the mission of my school, is to see the mission of my institute, my college. What does my college expect from me? What does my school expect from me? I go just like there, and I never ask. I feel shy to ask. Why? Because I'm a teacher. I have experience, so I don't have to ask the manager. Who is the manager to teach me what to do here? This is the biggest mistake you make. You have to follow. There is a mission for the whole company that you are working for. And that is part of being a professional person. To accomplish together with the other people what you have to do. Because you have a responsibility with all the other guys as well. And of course, oh my God, curriculum. How many of you here hate the curriculum they teach?
The government. Not the government. The government. The government.
We're discovering things, huh? Write notes. She's writing notes, huh?
I'll get in trouble.
How many of you hate the curriculum you are studying?
The way of teaching it.
I will tell you one thing. And I heard it from my doctor at college. And he said, the bad teacher will always be bad, even with the best books. It is not the book, it is the teacher. And it has never been about the book. I can teach you now the government book. And I will show you how enjoyable it might be if you just follow a different way from what they do in the school or what they do in college. You know what they call that? English 5?
Yeah, American English 5.
In school, in colleges? No, at colleges, the first year. English 5? How do teachers do that? How can they teach that thing? They're just like, I was surprised, guys. I swear to God, when I went there, I was shocked. With schools as well. How people are doing this. So it's not about the curriculum. It has never been about the curriculum. It is how you approach this curriculum. Training. Schools, colleges, universities who don't do training to their teachers are losers. And when they tell people like you should do this and you should do that, they have no right to do this. How can you tell me to do this? Okay? Or how can you tell me to be a perfect teacher if I'm not trained to be? Like I just came Okay? And then I want to learn how to teach. They tell you just go into the class. Have you had this experience before? Don't raise your hands. Nobody did here? Okay, great. Okay. So, can you imagine what happens? They just tell you, go, where's the training? No training. Why? I don't know. Are these all affecting my performance as a teacher? Yes. Methodology. If I keep following GTM, grammar translation method, am I going to be a good teacher? Communicative approach is one of the newest kind of techniques. Has, any teacher heard of this communicative approach? It is our mistake. I'm not a teacher if I'm not a researcher. If I don't look for the new information for the updates in teaching. And this is unfortunately the case in most of the teachers. Now, after my experience in quality and things and so on, I thought I was a teacher. And then, oh my God, I went through those types, all of them. Survival, they threw me in the class. I was like, a baby, they threw in the swimming pool. And he was just like, take some oxygen and then go back to the suffering. And then I started to, consolidate myself, try to know what's wrong, what's right, blah, 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 try to apply things and so on. Renewal. When I teach the same thing again, I don't like to follow the same procedures. I change. I'm not going to be the fossil that I talked about. I don't want to be a fossil. Okay? I'm not a teacher if I'm a fossil. And then, in the end, I came to maturity. And I thought that I was a great teacher, and I was a great person. And then I discovered that I'm not a teacher. Why? I'm not a teacher if I'm not compassionate. I have to feel people. I have to know people. I have to see what they are doing. Imagine the following scenario. A student came into the classroom. He looks miserable. Down in the dumps. He has never, seen such sadness in his life. And then I tell him, what's wrong? Nothing. He tells me, no, my uncle dead yesterday. My uncle died yesterday. Seriously? I'm telling you, my uncle died and I was suffering, crying all day yesterday, and then you tell me my uncle died? You're correcting my mistake in this pronunciation and grammar? Can you imagine? If I am not empathetic person, I'm not a teacher. What does that mean, empathetic? I put myself in the shoes of my students. Yeah. I feel them. They told me I didn't write the homework. I did not do my presentation for some reason. And people know what I'm talking about. I will, with all my heart, support that person and understand their nature. Because I'm not a teacher if I'm not empathetic. I'm not a teacher if I'm not positive. Be a proton. And for you guys who studied English literature, they don't know protons. They are part of the atoms. Okay. And they are always positive. And if you are not positive, you are not a teacher. And I come to the class after I see my lovely wife. I feel so happy, and I enjoy my time, and I smile to my students. What if I had a fight with her one day? God forbid. What would happen?
It would be miserable.
Shall I come and torture these people because I did not dare to speak to my wife? Shall I let all those things that affected me back home affect me in the class?
No.
Unfortunately, it happens. And a lot. And once I go to the class and the student just says any word, I just say, you study it by yourself, we have exam tomorrow. Actually, yes. I might have had, a bad day. I woke up in the morning, I'm a guy who likes to smoke. And it's Ramadan. So I can't, because I'm fasting. So, am I going to go and just, tell all my students those things? Am I a teacher if I am not positive? No. A builder, you are building. People tell me, of course, in schools, We build generations.
Oh my god. The biggest lie you don't say.
The future of the country.
You are the future, the miserable future of this country. Think about it for God's sake. Like, when I think I'm a builder, like, I'm just gonna correct your information here in this place. And I've been here now for 2 years. The best 2 years of my life. I have seen people who are my age, and I'm quite old. And I have seen people who are younger than me, older than me, and they were just, devastated. They had a lot of problems, they had a lot of things, they suffered a lot, they cried a lot, and they had those moments that were so terrible in their lives. Am I just a builder for a grade 5 student? No. You are building people. People have no age, ageless. You cannot limit your own thing to one age. KJ, no, it's not. You are a builder. You are not just a teacher. And unfortunately, you have to be a role model. So you cannot tell your students don't smoke. And you say, guys, excuse me, I need to take a, I can't. You have to be a role model. And I told my students before this story. I was a guy, when I started teaching in my 20s, I was a guy who stayed in Sha'lan and, Vajilla corner and, stayed and, talked to people and so on. And then I suddenly discovered that when I started teaching, it was my responsibility to respect that when a student passes by, he shouldn't see me this way. I am a role model. I give inspiration. I am a source of inspiration for people. What am I? Source of inspiration. If I'm not a source of inspiration, what am I doing? Am I just giving grammar and vocabulary and leaving? It is not teaching. I am not the center of the classroom. I'm not the one who people should focus on all the time. No, I am a facilitator. Please learn this word. Facilitator. I make things easier. I don't just make all the class about me. Guys, I am your almighty. You have to listen to me. I have a lot of information. No, let the students work. Just observe. Just see what people are doing. You don't really have to watch over everything. Let go. Enjoy. Enjoy this. And actually, more than ever, and here today we have a lot of presentations about motivation, you are a motivator. If you say that you have a dead class, it's not because the class is dead. It's because you are dead. And I'm not a teacher if I'm not a motivator. And I'm not a teacher if I don't have the energy to make people jump up and down when they learn. And finally, I would say I am an awakener. I make people see things they never saw. I don't want to go with the books and teach them the history that they have. I want to teach them why. What happened in that history? I don't want to teach people those stupid things that we see in geography without involving them in there. Telling them, look at the borders. Why do we have borders in Syria and Lebanon? Not just teach them, where can we find oil? We can find oil in blah, 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 blah. We cannot do that. We cannot. If I'm teaching science, I don't teach science because I want to teach vocabulary. I want to make people know. Awaken people. Why do we use this? Can I be a better person? Yes, I can. And in the end, after all these kind of things that I've been through and the research that I've made, I learned that everyone can teach, but not everyone is called a teacher. We have no problem if we teach. We could go send anybody to teach. But are they teachers? Are you, as a teacher, going to be remembered? Yes or no? This is the question you should ask yourself if you really want to be in this field. And of course, I'm not a teacher unless my students say so. I would never dare to call myself a teacher until my students tell me that I am a teacher.
And you are a teacher.
Thank you very much, everybody. If there's any question, I would love to receive from the audience. We still have like 5 minutes, so I have no problem. Do you understand? Now,